welcome everybody. I am so honored to have you join me here today. This is a little bit of an experiment as I'm doing my first live webcast, and you'll be seeing a few slides along with my program today, and you're going to see my bright, shiny face. I am so honored to have you join me here today. This is an investment in you. It's an investment into your success, into showing you how to have the kind of mindset that will be a game changer. It will change everything in your life. It will change the results you see in your life in every area, in your finances, in your relationships, in your health, in every area. And I promise you, I'm going to leave no stone unturned today, as I'm going to take you step by step through a very powerful formula that is used by every single multimillionaire throughout the world to create the kind of success that you can enjoy right now. Now, before we get started, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. So I want you to understand a few things. This is an interesting technology. Normally, there are people from all over the world registered, so welcome to the new people that are watching me for the first time. I have a lot of repeat students who always take a chance to get reminded of this subject and listen in, so welcome back to those of you that have heard me before. But this is an important time for you. And so I'd like to tell you a few things that will make this much more valuable for you in the time that you're investing today. So the first thing is, I hope you're in a quiet space. As you're watching this, please don't multitask. Now, you're watching me on your screen, which means that you might want to check your emails while you're listening to me. I will tell you right now that as I'm talking right now, I'm transmitting a very high frequency energy transmission. And I know that's true because we've already had some technical difficulties before we even started the program. So this energy transmission does some really amazing things. It will help you receive the information at a higher level, at a higher vibration. And today we're talking about the energy of prosperity. So when you multitask, you break down that receiving that transmission, and I don't want that to happen for you. The second thing is, I have a huge amount of information to cover in a very short time. So I want to make sure you have lots of paper and a pen, maybe even 2 pens to take notes. So you're going to be seeing me. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information. You're going to be seeing the screen. I'm going to show you a few slides because there's a couple of pictures I want to show you that will really represent the information that I want to share with you. Now, of course, I only have a short amount of time to be able to transmit and to tell you a lot of information that could literally change your life. And then I want to invite you to spend a few more minutes with me after I'm done, as I can share with you what's the next step. You see, transformation only happens when you go deeper and you make a higher commitment to change, a higher commitment to apply the information I'm going to share with you. I'm going to show you how to do that in the easiest way and the most practical way possible. So let's get started. I want to share a few things with you. I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to learn today. So I'm going to share with you a very, very powerful formula that wipes out your fears easily and effortlessly. It gives you 100% confidence to create financial success. It magnetizes lucrative business opportunities. It transforms you quickly from a procrastinator into a powerful action taker. It attracts influential people, advisors, JV partners, and other type of people that will literally be a game changer for you as you're building your business. And it's used by every single person throughout the world that has created a high 6, a 7, an 8, and even a 9-figure business. And it will work for you, guaranteed, no matter what industry you're in, what your expertise is, what your level of education is, or where you're located. And it will show you how to live from a permanent state of prosperity. So before we get started, I want to know a little bit more about you. What's your reason for watching this program? There's a reason when you saw my email that hit your email box and you thought, I need this information. There's something inside you that's yearning to be set free. You want a better lifestyle. You want more money in your life. You want an easier life. You don't want to work so hard to get what it is that you truly want. You want to feel more confident in what you're doing. You want more clarity. You want a greater community. You want love. There's a very specific reason you're on this call today, and I promise you that what I share with you will help you get exactly what you're looking for. But before I get started, I want to share with you a little bit about my why. Here's my why. I'm here to help you move past any emotional blocks of fear and lack to build a high 6 or 7-figure business from the highest vibration of prosperity. So before I go knee deep and really start to give you a huge amount of information, there are many of you on this webcast, watching this webcast today, who've never perhaps seen me speak before. I've been speaking around the world for the last 20 years to audiences just like yourself. So I think I'd like to share with you a little bit about my story, my journey, and what led me to this program today. So let's go back, let's dust off the cobwebs for a second and go back to the early 80s when I started my career. And I started my career in the direct marketing industry. And the direct marketing industry, but what a luck on my part, because the direct marketing industry, direct response, is what really drives the internet today. But we used to do something called direct mail. Remember those things that you got in your mailbox that you actually ripped open and opened up? That's what I was in charge of. I did direct mail programs, multi-million-dollar programs for companies like Citibank, Hewlett-Packard, Wells Fargo Bank, quite a few companies that you might recognize. And really what it means is that I know a lot about increasing a response rate to a program and decreasing marketing costs. Well, isn't that what every business owner wants? They want to increase their response to their marketing without spending a lot of money. So that is my background. And from there, I went and I became the vice president of marketing for a $4.5 billion financial institution in Chicago. Now, when I was head of marketing for the bank, I have to tell you, I had $1 million marketing budget. But I'm guessing maybe you don't have $1 million marketing budget. So the greatest thing is that the formula I teach you today is going to work for you without any marketing budget. Now, I was living in Chicago at the time, and there might be some people that are watching this program right now that not only live in Chicago, but maybe live in a cold weather. And I have to tell you, turns out I'm not much of a cold weather creature, which is why I up and moved to San Diego. But before that, I had a little bit of a journey to get here to this warm sunshine state. You see, I decided to get up and leave Chicago. I left my job because I was kind of sick of the weather, and I decided it was time to promote myself from vice president to president of my own company. So I was married at the time, and my husband and I, we moved to the wonderful city of St. Louis. And that's where I started my company, Source Communications, which is the same company that I have today. Now, something interesting happened. You see, I'll bet that there have been many times in your life that you've experienced some challenges. A few twists and turns, a few bumps, and maybe some of those bumps were really quite big, maybe tragic, maybe horrible. I experienced a pretty devastating bump not long after I started my journey in my business. One day, about a few months into building my business, my husband walked in and he said, "I want a divorce." Now, I don't know, for those of you that are watching, there might be some of you that have actually gone through the experience of divorce, and you would know that it's a pretty emotionally challenging situation. And for me, it was devastating. I was just at the beginning of building my business. I moved to a brand new city where I didn't know anybody, and I took the shot to build my business. Now remember, this was 1994 when we weren't even on the internet, using the internet. So it was a really challenging time for me. And in order to actually kind of heal my heart, I turned to my loved ones to figure out, how do I make it to the other side? How do I get happy again? How do I have the courage and the strength to build my business while I'm feeling emotionally devastated inside? And I turned to my older sister, Lisa. And Lisa was an energy worker. Now I have to tell you, at that time, I didn't understand what an energy worker was. But she was a very, very gifted person. That I can tell you about that. And she looked at me and she said something really interesting. Not words I would have ever expected. And she said, "Debbie, it's time for you to learn what I do." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I want you to learn the energy work that I do." And I thought, I'm a marketer. I'm a consultant. Why would I want to do this? And she said, "Because it will help heal your heart." And I have to tell you, I was brought down to my knees. I was in so much emotional pain. And I was open to trying anything that would allow me to finally wake up in the morning and be smiling again and feel like my heart was singing again. I wanted to get back to that place. So I learned a form of energy work called flow, alignment, and connection. And let me just tell you in layman's terms, in very practical terms, what that means. It means that I am able to track and identify where there is an energy block in a person or in your business and remove that energy block so there's a substantial increase in business in a short amount of time. Now here's the thing. You might go, well, why is that important? Well, something really interesting happened. While I began to build my business and I'm learning this energy work, and I was sitting across from my clients, something very profound happened. I started to know things. I started to know things intuitively they weren't even telling me. And I would know immediately based on some of their words and just tuning in to their business and what was going on, I'd see blocks. And I would be able to give them very specific advice on what to do in their business in very practical terms that remove the blocks to get results. Now here's where the story gets interesting. As I built my business and I started seeing hundreds of clients and I started to speak all over the world, I noticed two things, two critical things. The first one is the people that took my advice got results quickly. And I mean really quickly. There were times that some of my clients saw results in 24 hours without spending any money. It was just a shift in their thinking and the application of some of the things I told them to do. And it was amazing how quickly the results they got. And then there were people I gave very specific advice knowing that if they took it, they would also see results. And they didn't follow the advice. And I was scratching my head. I'm like, why aren't they doing this? And so I needed to delve deeper because I'm on this planet to help you. I am here with a very large mission. I'm here to really support the people who want to walk a purpose-filled path and live from a state of prosperity. And that's why you're on this call. And so I was actually really bummed out. I'm like, why aren't they following this advice? So I went deeper and started to talk to my clients and my students to find out why some of the people weren't following what I told them to do. And it was very interesting. They had fear. And here's what I heard. Fear of failure, fear of being seen, fear of being unlovable, fear of being unworthy. These fears paralyze the people. They paralyze them even though they wanted to make more money and they wanted success and they wanted to have better lives for themselves and their family and to build a wonderful community. They just couldn't move forward because of their fear. And here I see it every day. So let's fast forward to 20 years later. You see, I spent the last 20 years not only being a teacher, but also being a student of working with people that are tremendously successful and partnering with people that are multimillionaires and being mentored by people that are billionaires. And I found out some really important information. And I boiled it down and I synthesized and I realized that there is one formula that everybody that's successful follows in order to create their success. And it's based on 6 solid principles. But the fact of the matter is, what happens is that most people in fear think they have to do more in order to be able to be successful. They have to do more. They have to learn another class. They have to take another marketing strategy. And all this leads is to procrastination and more fear. And so I'm going to give you a very important thing for you to understand, because when you understand this shift, everything will shift in your life. Here's what you need to know. You have to remove the energy block internally, which is your mindset, at the mindset level, before you can remove any energy block externally in your business. And what that means is, until you understand how to approach your business or anything else in your life from a place of confidence, from a place of success, from a place of prosperity, before you take any action, that is the way that you create success. It's not to do more from a state of lack. And that's what I'm going to focus on in today's program. It's the entire reason I focus on today's program, so I can show you how to make that internal shift first at a mindset level. This is where the transformation happens. And then I'm going to tell you what to do to accelerate your success in your business. Let's find out a little bit more about you. I want to find out a little bit more about you because I've been doing this for 20 years, working with entrepreneurs all over the world. And I speak in front of audiences, and I ask every single audience member the same 2 questions. And when you tell me the answer to these 2 questions, I will be able to predict your success in the next 12 months, guaranteed. I will tell you what your challenges are. I will tell you how you're operating your business. I will tell you what your future looks like based on the answer to these 2 questions. So the first thing I'd like you to do is write down on a piece of paper right now, how much money do you want to make in the next 12 months? And I don't care what business you are in. I really don't. It doesn't matter what market you serve. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting out in business or you've been in business for 25 years. I just want you to commit to how much money do you want to make in the next 12 months. Write that number down. And that's the second answer to the second question that I am the most interested in. I'm interested in knowing what is your level of confidence between 1 to 10 you will meet or exceed that 12-month goal. All right? 10 meaning you are 100% confident you will meet or exceed your 12-month goal. Now, based on your confidence number, and be honest with yourself. You know, you have to be honest with yourself in order to know how to transform and shift and to get the kind of results that you're looking for. So I'm going to share with you what it means based on your confidence level. All right? What is your number between 1 and 10? Now, the first thing I want to tell you is that most entrepreneurs have a confidence number between 6 to 8. So you probably either wrote down a 6, a 7, or an 8. Some of you might have written down a 9. Some of you might have written down a 5 or below. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about how you're operating your business based on your confidence number. But first, let me share with you what it means to write down 10. What does it mean to be a 10 mindset? A 10 mindset is someone who believes strongly in your own success in whatever you pursue. It doesn't matter, whatever you're focused on and you're pursuing, who lives from your highest potential and who takes consistent action to create that kind of success. Now let me talk about a 10 mindset, a person who's approaching and building their business from a 10 mindset. How long, I'm going to tell you how long it's going to take them to reach their 12-month goal. The people that build their business from a 10 mindset reach their 12-month goal somewhere in the 8 to 10 month mark. All right? And this is what they do. They partner, they hire, or they delegate. They don't try and learn and do everything themselves. They either partner, hire, or delegate. They maximize their time and resources. Time is their number one commodity that they really value and they're very focused on. Everybody is a human being, so we all have fears. I have met people that are multi-millionaires. They have fears. Everybody has fears. But I will tell you something. People that build their business with a 10 mindset don't let their fears get in the way. It never stops them. They don't procrastinate because of a fear. They just take a risk and move forward. They believe in themselves and their plan. Even if they have to change their plan, they're still always behind the plan that they're implementing. And they're money and opportunity magnets, okay? They tend to attract, people always want to do deals with people who have a 10 mindset. They're quick decision makers. They don't take a long time to decide something. They take action immediately. When they see that there's an opportunity that's going to create more success for them in their lives, they make that decision quickly. They don't spend time, pros, cons, worrying about it. They have a gut feel. They're very in tune. It's the same gut instinct that you have. You're already wired to be an absolutely authentic and accurate decision maker. You're already pre-wired to be an accurate decision maker. When you learn how to take action quickly in the decisions that's going to help you move forward at an accelerated rate from a place that is truly authentic and very aligned with your true path, this is your path of success. People with a 10 mindset do business with people that either are a 9 mindset or a 10 mindset. Now let me share with you a little bit. Now, if you wrote down a number that was less than a 10, I want to talk to you a little bit about what it means for your next 12 months, and in fact, your whole future, depending on if you stay at this confidence number. All right, if you wrote down that you were a 9 mindset, 9s tend to reach their 12-month goal right on the money, right on the target, somewhere between 10 and 12 months. And here's the thing about 9s. 9s seem just like a 10, but you're like, but they're a 9. Okay, there's one very distinct difference between a person that is a 9 mindset and a person that's a 10 mindset. 9s are always looking for the competitive edge, and that's okay. They're always looking for, a 9 will invest in my courses, take my weekend, or invest in other people's courses, and they'll spend they don't care what the cost is, as long as there's one valuable thing that will make the difference and a huge impact in their sales. So this is how 9s think. This is how they make decisions. 9s can make, millions and millions of dollars actually quite easily. But the reason that it takes them a little bit longer to reach their 12-month goal is because 10s have a little bit different thinking. They feel they are the competitive edge. They're focused on being the competitive edge. They're not looking for the competitive edge. Now let's talk about 8s. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are 8s, and there's a very distinctive pattern with people that are an 8 mindset. Now I'm going to give you an inside track here. You might be an 8 as you're watching this program and identify yourself. When 8s are in fear, they act like a 7 mindset. When 8s are feeling super confident, they act like a 10 mindset. They act like a 10 mindset, but their actions are a little bit different, okay? So 8s are very, very focused. They're very, very focused on what they're doing. And 8s typically have seen success in some other area of their life. So if you're on this call and you wrote down you're an 8, it probably means that you know what success feels like in your body. You've experienced it before. It might be in high school. It might be in a former career, a former profession, or even right now. You know what flow of money feels like. But the thing about an 8 is 8s try to master too much. Instead of delegating and hiring, they try and they learned how to be successful by mastering something. And so they think that the success in business is also about mastering something. So 8's downfall is to burn out. 8s will work really, really hard for days on end, long hours, and then they hit a brick wall, and all of a sudden the flow stops. So the thing about 8s is they'll reach their 12-month goal, but it will be somewhere between 14 and 16 months. And if you're looking at this, you'll realize that means it's going to take them twice as long as a person that's coming from a 10 mindset. Now, look at the 7s. So 7s tend to reach their 12-month goal in anywhere between the 20 and 24 month, which means it takes them almost 2 years to reach their 12-month goal. And here's a distinction about 7s. 7s make fear-based decisions. If right now you're worried about your cash flow, you're worried about money, you're worried about results, you're not quite sure if your plan is going to work, you might not even have a plan that you feel confident about. You're looking for somebody that can take you step by step through how to get the results you want. If you tend to get overwhelmed by too much information, if you find yourself procrastinating an awful lot, you're probably being a 7 mindset and you're living from your gap. And what it means is when you start making fear-based decisions, you will see perhaps a moderate increase in your sales, but you're never going to see an acceleration of your sales as long as you're building your business from a 7 mindset. Now, if you are a 6 or below, if you put down your mindset was a confidence level was a 6 or below, here's what it means. Very rarely do people that have a 6 mindset, they actually are a lot of times they're looking for their purpose in life. You're not sure that what you're doing in your business is actually going to make money. You might be extremely passionate. You might care very deeply about people. You might be very service-oriented, but you're not valuing yourself or pricing out your products and services to what the true value is in the marketplace. You're worried that people might not be able to afford you. And I will tell you that people that build their business from a 6 or a 7 mindset attract other fear-based people. You will probably be attracting people in your business that are also in fear and clients that can't afford to pay you. This is what it is living in your gap. What number did you write down? Because this number will predict your future if you stay there. But I want to give you some great news, really great news. You are pre-wired as a 10 mindset. It's already inside of you. When I say that if you wrote down your confidence number that was less than a 10, that means whatever number you wrote down and the difference between that and the 10 is a gap. And that means that there's some blocks there that once you move them aside and shift out of those and release those blocks and transform, you have access to that 10 mindset that is waiting for you right now. And I can prove it to you. Everybody is already wired as a 10 mindset. You are already wired to live a prosperous life. Unfortunately, people throughout the world think that they have to get somewhere. They have to figure out how to become a 10 mindset. I am not here to show you how to become a 10 mindset. I'm here to show you how to access the 10 mindset you already have inside. And I'm going to tell you the formula that will literally show you how to access it. And I'm going to tell you the formula that literally the 6 principles that will make that formula work for you. So that when you master those principles in your life, you will be a 10. You will be accessing a 10. You'll be learning how to live your life from a 10 mindset. But there's one more thing that I want to show you because I'd like to really drive home what it's costing you to build your business from your gap. It's not just about your thinking. It's real tangible results or the lack of results that's costing you dearly in your life. So let me show you one more thing here. Take a look at this chart. So I wanted to give you sort of an apples to apples kind of comparison so you have a better understanding of what it means to build your business from the right mindset, which is a 10 mindset. All right, so if we used, if your goal was $100,000 in the next 12 months, and you were building your business from a 10 mindset, you would reach that $100,000 mark in somewhere around 8 months. Now, this is not an undoable thing. I've done $100,000 in a few days. It's not that difficult. So I just wanted to give you a relatively simple understanding of how this works. That means that a 10 mindset in 12 months would generate $150,000. And in 3 years, they would generate $450,000, okay? So if you have a goal of $100,000 in the next 12 months and you're doing it and you're building your business from a 10 mindset, you literally are on track to make about $450,000 in the next 3 years. Sounds good, right? Well, now I want to compare that to somebody who's building their business with a 6 mindset. You see, somebody with a 6 mindset, if you were a 6 and you wrote down your 12-month goal is $100,000, it would take you a little over 3 years just to reach that $100,000. So in 8 months, you would be generating $21,000, right? In 12 months, you'd be generating $33,000. And in 36 months, you'd finally reach your 12-month goal. So do you see the difference between what would happen in the next 3 years if you built your business from a 10 mindset? You'd be generating $450,000. And in a 6 mindset, you'd be generating $100,000. That's a $350,000 you've left on the table just from your mindset. Because your mindset dictates the beliefs you have, the actions you take or the actions you don't take, the kinds of decisions you make. It all happens because of the mindset and how you approach it. Now, if you were to generate, if your 12-month goal was $200,000, you notice what that means. That means that in 3 years, you would be, if you were a 10 mindset, you'd be generating around $900,000. You'd be close to the $1 million mark in just 3 years. Right? If you were building your business from a 6 mindset, you'd hit your $200,000 annual goal, which means you have just left $700,000 on the table. These are real world examples, folks. I've done this so often, there isn't a fear that I haven't heard. I've been doing this a long time. I've sat in front of thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs. I've heard every single fear, and they're very, very common ones. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being unworthy, fear of being seen, fear of being a fraud. I've seen people have all sorts of excuses of procrastination, not taking action. And then I've sat in front of people with a 10 mindset. They don't have fears when it comes to running their business. They will take a risk, but they will take a risk that is very calculated. They will be quick decision makers, and they'll make accurate decisions. Does it mean that you won't have an obstacle in your life? You won't make a mistake? Something might not give you the results you want? Of course it doesn't mean that. We're human. It's going to happen. You learn by your mistakes, but I will tell you one thing. 10s are very, very resilient. This is why they can keep going up like this. So when a 10 has a problem or a challenge and they're on the upward and that challenge takes them down, they will quickly regroup and be able to solve that problem and continue back up their curve. I see with people that have a mindset of a 7 or a 6, they're kind of like this, and a challenge takes them down. And it takes them a very long time to build themselves back up, even just to a level playing field. So what happens when somebody is building their business from their gap? And all of a sudden you wake up one day and you are really stuck in fear because your bills are due and you don't have enough money in your bank account. So there's two things that most people do. There's two routes that most people take. And let's talk about these two routes because they're the most common things that people do that make logical sense in order to make more money. But I'm going to tell you why they're not the right route to take. And I'm going to share with you what is the right route to take that is much easier and allows you to truly walk a path of purpose and prosperity. So here they are. The two common routes that people take to get out of a place of lack. And I know I myself have been guilty of doing these in the past until I understood how to apply this formula to my own life. The first one is work harder, of course. Do whatever it takes. Take another course, learn something new, study some more, try and figure out how to change your plan, take on a whole new plan, get a mentor, invest a lot of money, but you have to work really, really hard because if you don't work hard, you're not going to see any results. All right, the second route is the spiritual route. All right, so maybe you took a course on prosperity that told you that you have to say this certain affirmation every day from 30 days. All right, and you're just going to sit on the top of a mountain and you're going to just manifest really easily just by focusing on those affirmations. Now, not to say that your spiritual route isn't an important route, because I will tell you, taking action and your spiritual route are critical to your success, but not from that way of thinking. So let me illustrate this for a second. Here's what happens if you follow the first path, which is by far the most common path for entrepreneurs when they are feeling really stuck and they're knee-deep in a place of constriction and lack. You'll notice that there's two triangles there. Everything starts with your mindset. That's why the mindset triangle's on the bottom. Your physical world, the triangle on the top, means it's where you take action. All right, so if you're resonating from this low vibration of fear and all you're thinking about is, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough money. And then, so what do? You work harder. All right, so you learn more strategies, you decide you'll take whatever it takes to get some results, and what are you going to do? You're going to hit burnout very quickly. You're going to be frustrated because you're not sure how to get the results you're looking for. Most people, when they go this route, they end up either feeling overwhelmed, and the minute somebody feels overwhelmed, they will start to procrastinate. And then what happens is guilt and shame come to the surface very rapidly. Very rapidly. The guilt that you're in the situation that you're in, the guilt and the shame of not being able to pay your bills, the guilt that something might not work, and then the feelings of failure happen. This is the most common route I see with entrepreneurs, particularly people that are building their business from a 6, a 7, and sometimes even an 8 mindset. But let's look at the second solution. This is the second most common solution, and this is what I call the spiritual route. So again, and from a mindset, you're going, oh my gosh, I'm really short on cash. I need more money in my life. I need more prosperity in my life. I need more prosperity in my life, because what you're focusing on is what you don't have. So you might try the affirmation route, and what will happen is, this is a very common thing with people that see a start and a stop in their flow. You'll start to manifest things, just enough money to cover your bills, and then the flow stops, and the next thing you know, everything comes to a halt, and you can't figure out why. The fact of the matter is, when you just focused on, again, coming from a place of lack and trying to change your situation just by changing your behavior, it does not lead to a permanent transformation. But there is some way to lead to a permanent transformation. And here it is. You access your 10 mindset, and now you have a perfect flow when you are operating in the high vibration of prosperity. And what I mean by that, it means that your thinking is, I live in an abundant world. Things come to me easily and effortlessly. There is an abundance of opportunities, resources, ideas available to me. Money flows to me easily. Now, people with a 10 mindset walk around like that all the time. The reason they're a money magnet is because they believe in their own success and they know that success is literally happening in every single moment. Remember, it does not matter right now what's in your bank account. You can access your 10 mindset right now, and when you do that, you start to see results quickly. And in order to do that, you do need all three triangles in your equation. You need to start from that place of that mindset and from a spiritual place. All right, at the spiritual level is where your purpose is. It's where your passion is. It's where you actually channel in creative new ideas and solutions. You need access to that spiritual place. And you have to take physical action. So that's the third triangle of the physical world. You do have to take action. When an opportunity drops in your lap, you have to say yes. You have to take action and do something with that opportunity to move forward. So they all are a very holistic way. But let me get much more specific. And this is something that I really want you to write down, because here it is. Here's the formula. The formula is the business success mindset formula. This will change what happens in your life forever. So write it down. Intention plus assumption plus action equals 10 mindset. There it is. Intention plus assumption plus action equals a 10 mindset. And what that means is you set your intention of what you want. Not based on what you don't have, but coming from a place of what you want, and you assume your own success. Before you take any action, you assume your own success. You assume you're going to get it. And then you take the right, R-I-G-H-T, the right consistent action. And that's how 10 mindset people live their life. In every area of their life, no matter what it is, they apply this formula to every area of their life. So I'm going to tell you how to do that. But here you might be asking, you might be saying, well, I don't know if you've ever networked or saw somebody speak that's very, very successful, or, authors that are multimillionaires, and you might be thinking, well, they have something that I don't have. I might never get there. And that's a lie. You have everything you need right now, right here in this moment, and all you need to know is how to access it. So let me tell you about a few people that were challenged, and I showed them how to apply this formula to their life and take the right consistent action. And here's some of the kinds of results that they saw. So this guy, I love this guy. He's a young guy, and he came to me, and before coming to me, he had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars working with other people and went broke. And he came to me, he heard me talk and listened to one of my programs, and he came to me for me to work with him. And here's what happened to him, real results. He went from making $1,500 a month to $500,000 in a year. And he writes, I can't imagine where I would have been had I not hired Debbie to help me make the big shift in my business. In 1 year, my income increased over 1,150%. Thank you, Debbie. Well, thank you, Jean, because you're the one that did all the work. I just showed you how to access what was already inside. Here's another woman, too. I've been working. Jody has been following me. I love her to pieces for quite a while. And she writes, since I started the 10 Mindset program, I have made more in 1 week than I have made in the past 3 years combined. Now, she started seeing results while she was taking the 10 Mindset program. Can you see these kinds of results? Well, it depends. How serious are you in taking action and making a change in your life? That's the question I have for you. All right, let me share with you one more story, and then I'm going to share with you the 6 principles and how to make this formula work for you. Diane writes, Debbie's 10 Mindset program is the most concise, clear, and results-driven business program I've ever experienced. I started quickly seeing a change in my business within days. Within days. I cannot stress this enough. Can you see results in your life when you're ready to take action and into investing in yourself to make that kind of transformation and learn how to access the 10 Mindset inside? Yes. Yes. It's amazing what happens. So here, I'm going to break down the 6 principles you need to follow to make this formula work for you right now. And then I'm going to share with you how these principles work very, very specifically. So principle number 1 is space. Write that down. Space. Emotional space, physical space, and the space of time. The second principle is vision. Vision. Having the vision of where you're headed in the world. Having a picture of what it is. Number 3 is your belief system. Your belief systems. Number 4 is the habits. What are your habits every single day? Your business habits as you're building your business. Number 5 is your community. And number 6 is your success team. So let me share with you exactly what I mean by each one of these principles. So let's break it down. The first one is space. Now I have to tell you, as you wrote them down, there's a very specific order to these principles. It's not like you can figure out how to remove an energy block in your last one in your community and think that your life is going to change. They actually build upon each other. There's a very specific order to them. And what happens is most people take a personal growth or a personal transformation program hoping that they can just shift their beliefs or just shift their behavior, their habits, and life is going to be perfect. I will tell you that will never, ever, ever lead to a permanent change. And I've been doing this a very long time. I guarantee it. I guarantee you might see an increase in your flow by changing your habits or changing your beliefs, but you will not see a permanent change if you don't understand how to master all 6 of these principles. So let's talk about the first one right now. Let's talk about space. I love having a conversation about space. For people that know me, understand that I live by the ocean because I need a lot of space. I love the space of the ocean. It brings me peace. It brings me joy. When you're not having peace, when you're not having joy, when you're feeling frustrated, when you're feeling anxious, you have a block in your emotional space. And when you have a block in your emotional space, you can't receive. You can't receive information from other people that can truly help you forward. But most importantly, you can't figure out and discern how to take the right consistent action. So you have to learn how to free up your space. And when you are stuck in a place of fear, and all you have is an inner dialogue going on in your head that it'll never work, I tried this before, I failed before, what if people don't buy it, what if nobody can afford this? If you've got this internal inner critic going on in your head, it's taking up your emotional space. Now let's talk about the space of time. Are you one of those people that has a never-ending to-do list? That just when you cross something off, there's 5 more things that show up on it. Are you one of those people that runs out of time by the end of the day and you feel like you've been busy all day, but you haven't been productive? Have you spent your day organized in a way that is the most valuable, income producing actions? Or do you feel like you're procrastinating, you're wasting time, you're trying to figure things out, you're trying to learn things, you're trying to do everything yourself? Well, you've got a block in your space of time if this sounds like your day. Your physical space. Well, let me ask you what your office looks like. Is it organized? Do you know exactly how to find things? Is it set up to maximize your prosperity? Or when you walk in, do you feel like you want to walk right out? Now I'm going to tell you share a really interesting story about physical space, and this is a true story, and it's one of my favorite stories because it gives a great example of what happens when you shift your physical space to maximize the energy of prosperity around you, all right, and to maximize the ability to receive. Now you know what it's like when you can't receive. You can't receive when you're frustrated and you're upset and you're sad or you're worried or you're anxious. You can't receive things that are coming in your direction. But what happens when you have great space? When you're centered and you're calm, things tend to work out. Challenges don't seem to be such a big deal. So let me tell you about one of my favorite clients, Frank. Frank lives in Hawaii, one of my favorite all-time places. And so a few years ago, I went to Hawaii and gave a talk on having a success mindset. And Frank saw my program and became a client. And he had bought a self-study program from me, and he loved my work. And then I lost touch with Frank. I hadn't heard from him in Hawaii, and I went back to Hawaii, and he had moved from Oahu to Maui to start his own business. And so I called him up and said, hey, I'm in Maui. I'd love to see you and find out what's going on. And he had just started his business about 3 or 4 months ago, and he started something called a destination management company. And what that means is that when people have their conferences or their programs over in Hawaii, in Maui, he creates these wonderful types of extracurricular activities. You know, he sets up special dinners and special excursions, so that's what he does for them. And so we meet at Starbucks, of course, have a cup of coffee, and I'm like, how is everything going? I'm so excited for you and your new business. And he looks at me, and he shakes his head, and he goes, it's not going well. And I said, what's the problem? I mean, I'm a consultant. This is what I do. I help people remove the energy blocks to increase their flow and receive a lot more money in clients. And he says, I can't pick up the phone. And I'm looking at him like, I don't understand. What do you mean you can't pick up the phone? He goes, Debbie, I have all of these contacts I know I'm supposed to talk to. I even have people wanting to hire me. They leave a message and I have to call them back. But I just can't pick up the phone. And I'm like going, now you have to understand, Frank has 20 years in hotel sales. Hotel sales. He's been a salesperson for 20 years. And so I just say, I'm thinking, all right, so I, in 10 minutes, came up with what I thought, honestly, was a brilliant plan so that he'd never have to pick up the phone. I'd have somebody else do it and how to make his outbound calls and so have all the calls. I mean, I had worked it out so that there was no cold calling, and I thought I came up with a brilliant solution. I lay it all out for him. Super easy plan. And he looks at me. I said, so what do you think? And he looks at me and he shakes his head. He goes, I can't pick up the phone. He says the same thing. And so I have to share something with you. Energy flow is energy flow. I can track energy flow anywhere in the world. I don't have to have ever met you. And I can track the energy flow. If I'm working with you, I can track your energy flow across the world. And it occurred to me as I talked to him, I asked him a few more questions, and that's when I knew it was his office. I was really clear. I was being shown that there was a very significant energy block in his office. Now, I had never been to his office. I had no idea what it looked like. And I looked at him and I said, I need to see your office. So he happened to be working out of his home. And he lives in a 2-level house. And in the lower level is where he had turned one of the rooms into his office. In the upper level is 3 bedrooms, all right? His bedroom and 2 guest bedrooms. And so we go to his house. I take one look at his office. Now, I have to tell you, I stood in the doorway. His office was clean. It's very well organized. It looked very, very nice, decorated really nice. But there was some things that were definitely amiss. And I said to him, you can't work in this office. You're in the wrong space. And he looked at me and he just crumpled. He goes, I know. I cannot go in this office and pick up the phone. And that was the challenge. So I said, I want to see your other rooms in your house. We went up. I took a look at the rest of his house. And I told him, this is the space where you're supposed to be working. Then I told him exactly where to set his desk, where to set all of his equipment, what to put on his walls. I told him exactly what to do. Well, I'll tell you, this guy was all into action. When I gave him the permission to change his space, he was all over it. He hired movers to move the furniture from upstairs downstairs and the furniture downstairs upstairs. He had his office set up lickety-split within 24 hours. There's a man who took my advice and took action. Well, I had to leave town and do some, come back to San Diego. But I went back. This was March This was March, and in September I came back to Maui, only a few months later. I call up Frank and I said, Frank, how's it going? He goes, I am going bananas. Business is crazy. I've hired a full-time assistant. So this guy went from no clients and not being able to pick up the phone to booming business, and he was already booked through the following March. When you shift your space, it affects everything else in your life. Everything else in your life. This is why space is the number one thing. I show students how to shift their space of time, their physical space to set it up for prosperity, and the emotional space we spend a lot of time working on. When you have a shift in your emotional space, you learn how to remove those blocks and access the 10 mindset already inside of you. Principle number 2. Number 2 is your vision. What I find is most entrepreneurs are only focused on the immediate plan in front of them. The next goal, the next class they're taking, the next marketing strategy that they're going to implement, what they need to do in their social media, what they have to write on their Facebook. That's what they tend to focus on. They focus on from product launch to product launch, all right? They focus on worrying about what is their marketing strategy. These are all important things, but the most successful people that create the greatest financial success have an overriding vision. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. If you said that your confidence number was a 6, a 7, or even an 8, it's like standing in the middle of Manhattan on the sidewalk and all you see in front of you and behind you and right and left are skyscrapers. And you're standing in front of this 50-story skyscraper and you're on the sidewalk and you're looking up. And you're saying, someday I'm going to build this and I'm going to get to it. You develop your plan and you do your social media and you do your email marketing and you create your marketing plan and you're building your products and you have creative ideas and you're working really hard and you're trying to build floor by floor, and that's all you're focusing on day to day, and that's your overriding driving force. When you build your business from a 10 mindset, you have a much broader perspective. You get in the elevator of that 50-story building. You take it all the way to the top where there's a penthouse. And in that penthouse there is a 360-degree view. And it's windows all the way around the entire floor. And you look out and you go, I'm building this community. This is the influence I have in the world. And this is my vision of how I can truly change the world. And here's what my mission is in my business. When you have vision, you have perspective. You have perspective. You have the space to make discerning, accurate decisions for your business. That's principle number 2. When you are blocked, when you are coming from a place of fear or lack, when you are operating your business from your gap, you lose perspective and vision. And all you focus is on the one thing right in front of you. All right, let's talk about principle number 3. The third principle to master is having belief systems that are congruent with success. They're congruent with success. So you can imagine if you set your intention that you want to make $100,000, but you don't believe that you can actually do that, you have an incongruency. And this is why it is a lot harder to not only generate results, but also to receive money into your life. That is not living from the highest vibration of prosperity. So you want to have belief systems that are congruent with being successful. Now you might say to me like, well, I don't know how to do that. Like first of all, I don't even know what my belief systems are, or I don't know how to even change my belief systems. Well, I want to share something that nobody else talks about in the marketplace. Just changing your belief systems, trying to identify your belief systems and trying to change them will actually not work for a permanent change. They will not work for a permanent change. What will change, there is something else that you need to do, and when you shift who you are being, the belief systems are super easy. It's not something that you have to work on or try or fix or try and identify. When you are accessing your 10 mindset, When you learn how to access the 10 minds that are already, it comes preset with belief systems that are already there. They're already inside of you. You don't have to figure out how to adopt them, how to learn them, how to change them, how to shift from what you're believing now and you don't believe in yourself to how to believe in yourself. They're already inside of you. When you learn how to actually access your 10 mindset, they're already there for you and you actually own them. It's like putting on the right clothes that completely fit. This is what we call transformation. Space, vision, and belief systems are the place where you transform. But let's talk about the next 3 principles because this is where acceleration happens. The next 3 principles are your outer world, your physical world. So in the first 3 principles, what I talked about is really affects you living a fulfilled life, you living a life of purpose, you living a life of prosperity, you organizing your space in a way that allows you to be truly authentic, truly self-expressed. All right? That is transformation. That's where you are brilliant. That's where you make a big impact in no matter what you do in the world. But now let's talk about your acceleration. Because you're here, you want to make more money. Of course, you wouldn't be in business if you didn't want to make more money. So there's some real world things you do have to do when you're coming from the right mindset. So you have to master these principles and apply them in your business. So principle number 4 is your habits. You have habits that are aligned with success. And what that means is you hire, you partner out, you delegate. You organize your time that is most efficient and most productive to getting you towards your goal, not procrastinating and moving away from your goal. I will tell you that if you have a block in principle number 1, 2, and 3, you are definitely not organizing your time correctly or efficiently. You will know that the people that seem to be the most aware of a block in their time are 8s, because 8s will tend to work really, really hard and they feel like they are being productive and they still feel behind the 8 ball. They will definitely get results, but they'll be exhausted from it. There's a better way and there's an easier way. I can show you how literally to leverage your time and your energy. There's one of you, but it will feel like there's 100 of you without you doing any of the heavy lifting, even if you have no extra money to hire other people. It can happen and it can work for you when you know how to leverage your time, value your time, and be able to create the kind of habits that lead you to your success. You won't even think of procrastinating. You won't be in a place of overwhelm. You'll be in clarity. You'll understand what's the right consistent action. You'll know what your next step is. When you have mastered this principle, things will be so much easier and so much more clear. Step number 4. Take a look at your community around you. Who are you hanging out with? Are you hanging out with people who tell you can't do it? It's never going to work? It breaks my heart when I get people who take my programs or who come up to me after I speak, in front of an audience, or who write me emails because they've listened to one of my programs, one of my teleseminars, or something like what I'm doing, and they share a story that they are passionate about helping people. They want to bring their business into the world, but their spouse says that they're going to fail, is not behind them. Or their parents or their friends even are doubting. Or they're saying, why would you do this? Because it's a big risk and it might not work. It hurts me. It hurts my heart. I'm here to tell you that anything is possible for you. Whatever you can imagine, the universe can create. Whatever you can imagine, the universe can create. And when you surround yourself by the right community, you will have people in your life that love you unconditionally, that understand what your vision is, that understand what your dreams are, and are 150% behind you, even if you're starting from square one. They're 150% behind you. It is the number one thing that I talk to people about, and we go through very specifically, how do you shift your community and gently sweep aside the naysayers in a loving, kind way and bring in and attract the kinds of people who are already successful that can lead the way for you, who can support you in your efforts, who want to support you in your efforts. Your community is critical. It's critical. I hang out with some extremely successful people in the world. I am mentored by a man who created a company that had over $1 billion in revenues, and that was just one of his 22 companies. I partner with very well-known people that I'm sure you have heard about. I am very clear that my vision is not about me. It's about everybody that I'm in community with, who I can be of service and who can also help and support me. Your community is vital to your success. And the last one is, what if I could tell you that there was a way that you could not fail? You could not fail. If I could put a team together and handpick that team just for you, of people you didn't even have to pay, who not only understood you, but who loved you, who supported you, who kept you in line, who understood your dreams, and who had said, we're going to make this work. These aren't people you have to pay. These are people that are your advisors and people, but we had a hand-picked small team. Not your whole general community, but one team just focused on you. So you could not fail. When you set out that 12-month financial goal, it's going to work. That's principle number 6. Having your own success team. Having a team of people that are emotionally invested in you, helping you to succeed in life. And there's some important people that you have to have on this team. Even if you're starting from ground zero, and there's many people that go through my program and say, Debbie, I have nobody to put on this team in my life right now. And I tell people, well, this is how you do it. This is how you can go from meeting a stranger and contacting them from around the world, and you might never meet face to face, and developing a relationship where they say, how can I support you? I show people how to do that. Even if you're the shyest person on the planet, even if you're starting from ground zero, how do you develop relationships with influential, extremely successful people in the world? It can be done. I've done it every day for the last 30 years in my professional career. You can do it too. So here's my question to you. Are you ready? Are you ready for the kind of transformation and acceleration you could experience in your life right now? Are you ready to live your life from a 10 mindset? Are you ready to walk a life of prosperity? That's my question to you. Because if you're ready, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you right now. I'm ready to support you in that path. And what I'd like to do is share with you exactly how to do it. Because I have taken the time and energy and done the research and done real world application with people over and over and over again to show them how this formula works for everybody. To show them how to actually master the principles, even if you're blocked in every single one of them, how to unblock with actual, real specific things to do. And I will tell you, that when you actually master these principles, none of them cost money. This formula doesn't cost you money. It makes you money. It doesn't. Learning these principles and mastering them in their life is actually, it's a way of being. It's not learning how to do something. It becomes your way of being. Success is a state of being. It's not a destiny. It's a state of being. And that is my mission and my goal for you. It's my why. It's that you wake up every day in living in that state of success and prosperity. So let me share with you something. Okay, now I get to do the technical stuff and work the screens, so bear with me for a second, folks. Here's where we're at. What I'd like to know is, are you ready to take action? Are you ready to wipe out your fears right now? Are you ready to build a prosperous business? Because if you're ready, I'm ready for you. Are you ready to turn your inner critic into a raving fan? To let go of that voice inside that tells you you can't, you need to, you should, you have to. Let's get rid of the shoulds and have to, need to, and move into the place of choose to and I'm excited about. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to make money effortlessly? No more struggle and hard work and trying to figure it out and going through this stop, start of money, no money, money, no money, money, no money. Doesn't matter what's happening in the economy. You can still make a huge amount of money even in a poor economy. Are you ready to reach your financial goals in record time? Are you ready to exceed that 12-month goal? A 10 mindset. You're ready to turn your 12-month goal into an 8-month goal and move beyond that. Are you ready to build a network and community of influential, powerful connections and advocates? And surround yourself by successful people who support you in your dreams. Let me share with you a few people who said yes. They said, I'm ready. Now, Craig here was a 3 mindset when I started with him. He wasn't a 5, a 6. And I love this man to pieces. One of the kindest, gentlest men I've ever worked with, meaning that he was all about service and truly helping people heal. And so he said yes. He heard this very program that you're listening to and watching, and he said yes. He signed up for the 10 Mindset course and said, the 10 Mindset courses help me reset my thinking and move out of my gap and determine what I want instead. I stopped asking how and started to define what I want by putting my vision into words, gaining new clarity, and now I'm seeing things fall into place. This guy got it. He went from a 3 to a 10, and you can too. Here's another one. Marcy. I love Marcy, and I'm going to tell you about a conversation I just had with her recently. Your 10 Mindset program is working for me very well. So well, in fact, that within the first 2 weeks of participation in your 10 Mindset program, the floodgates of clients and prospects have opened. And I'm busier than I've been in quite some time. 3 new clients, 5 new prospects, radio shows, interviews, and revenues higher than last year already. Are you getting this? Things happen quickly. Now, I just had a conversation with Marcy just a couple of weeks ago, and this was her dilemma. Debbie, I have 8 new opportunities. One of them's international. Somebody wants to take my course and make it worldwide. Oh my God, what do I do? I'm going to give her the same advice, and I'm going to tell you what I told her. When you start becoming really successful, you will have way more opportunities than you know what to do with. That is a problem I want you to write to me about because it's a problem you should have, and we're going to do a happy dance together. All right? Things are booming for her. All right, let me share with you one more. Priya was all about transformation, so much that she'd taken many, many personal development courses, and it was really important, and she really understood the whole transformation piece of this program. And she writes, your 10 Mindset program is the most life-renewing and inspiring course I've ever taken. It's helping me rebuild my confidence so much and challenging me even more every day to live from a more expansive space. I have paid much more for courses that did not deliver anything close to the transformation I'm experiencing with this course. I am about your transformation and your acceleration. So if you're ready to take action now, I would invite you to follow me for a second because I want to explain to you what I've done. You see, I just retaught the 10 Mindset program in a live teleclass. I just finished it a couple of months ago. And a couple of weeks ago. It's brand new. And I added a whole bunch of new content. Same principles, but we went deep into the energy of prosperity and what it means. Very deep. And I'm going to share with you a little bit more about what I did and what I taught that is now. And I turned that course into a 30-day self-guided audio program. You see, I've been working with people for so long, I can tell you that giving you an entire course and expecting you to listen to it all at once and transform in 1 day or 2 days is impossible. You're talking about shifting a lifetime of habits, removing a lifetime of fears, shifting the way you think about yourself. But I guarantee you that if you follow this course and you apply it to your life, you will have that shift. And you'll learn what makes a permanent shift. So I turned the live teleclass program into a 30-day program that gives you step-by-step through audios and a few videos and shows you how to move from fear and lack into a permanent place of confidence and prosperity. So here's what happens when you go through the program. You get real results while you're taking the program. I just wanted to give you a few. I mean, I could go on and on about the testimonials I've received from my students. I've had people take this class from all over the world, many, many different countries, people that are just starting out in their business, I've given you testimonials from people that were just starting out, and testimonials from people that have been in business literally 15, 20 years that went through this course because they knew after listening to me, they had spent most of their life living as a 6, a 7, or an 8 mindset, and they were done. They were ready to move forward and literally discover the confidence that they had inside, and they just didn't know how to access it. And they wanted to move out of fear permanently. I'll show you how to integrate the spiritual world and your mindset so that you are authentic and you're living your purpose. Now, one of my students I just talked to who just finished this course, and he said to me, Debbie, I've taken a lot of personal growth courses before, but nobody have I ever seen is able to integrate the spiritual side and the mindset piece and the practical side the way you do it so seamlessly. He said, it's really amazing. And I'll have to tell you, this guy did a 180. A 180. He's a completely different person after taking this course in a way that he is moving forward with so much more confidence instead of feeling so overwhelmed and lost. You learn how to adopt the beliefs, habits, and behavior of financially successful people. And it won't be something about having to figure out how to do this. It will become natural. Remember, once you understand how to access your 10 mindset, it becomes a natural state of your being. You learn how to let go of patterns that have held you back in the past. There isn't a fear I haven't hurt. I've been doing this a long time, and with certain fears comes certain patterns. The form might be different. Your story is different than my story, but I will tell you, this patterns lead to the same kinds of results. It doesn't matter what your pattern is or what your story is, it will still lead you to lack, a place that you don't want instead of what you do want. You learn how to jump from a 6 or a 7 or an 8 or even a 9 to a 10. This is not a progression. I do not want you to go from a 6 to a 7 and then from a 7 to an 8. No, I want you to go from a 6 to a 10 because you're already wired as a 10 and I can show you how to access it. All right, I'll show you how to manifest what you want instead of struggling to get what you want and working really hard. It's so much easier to manifest that. I'll show you how to turn lack thinking and your inner critic into an inner raving fan. How would you like to wake up and all you hear in your voice, in your side of your head is, I love what's happening. I can't wait for this day to unfold. Miracles are going to happen today. Things are going to be amazing. I'll show you how to customize this program. This is one of those programs that is completely customized to you and your circumstances. Once you go through the exercises during the program, you will see how every single thing is applicable immediately to your life. So with every audio you get, you'll be able to apply the information immediately to your life. And you don't have to wait until you finish the course to see results or to apply the information. I want to share one more email that I got, again, from a student that just completed this course, the live telecourse, and she was so excited that she had to send me this email. She goes, this morning another unexpected sum of money flowed into my account. Now, I want you to know, I didn't cap that word. She capped that word. I literally took it exactly from her email as she wrote it. That's the second time that's happened since I started the course in February. So the first email she had sent me was she was super excited because somebody had hired her for something and they wanted to give her double what she was expecting to get paid. And at first she was kind of like in shock. She couldn't believe it was happening. But then she got so excited she wanted to tell me about a second thing that happened, and that's the email that I got from her. So here's what I cover in the program. This is just a few things. I can't obviously tell you everything that's covered, but I want to highlight that I take you step by step through this program and how to apply every single principle to your life and exactly how to access your 10 mindset. It's very practical. I do not leave any question unanswered. So the first class is how to set yourself up for success. So you start to see your results quickly. I tell you how to be successful with the entire program. How to set yourself up, how to view it, what to do, and you identify and you benchmark where you're at now so that by the end of the course, you're going to see a very distinct difference in how you are thinking, how you're being, and what's happening in your life. I then share with you how to live from a place of prosperity instead of lack. I really break it down. I tell you exactly what prosperity is, how to access it, and how to live from it. Prosperity is not a destination. I want you to understand this. Prosperity is not a destination. It is a way of being, and I show you how to access the state of prosperity and your 10 mindset. I then show you how to create the kind of physical space so that you get those kinds of results like Frank. And I break it down for you. I tell you what to do in your physical space that will really shift. And I had a student just in a conversation a couple of days ago said that they had done one of the things that I suggested in 10 Mindset. And it was one thing, one small thing they shifted in their office. And they were literally astounded on what it did to the energy in their business and what it did to their mind and how they were thinking. They kind of said it to me like they were almost in disbelief because they couldn't believe what a simple thing they could do that would make such a huge difference. Then I tell you exactly how to set a vision from your 10 mindset so people are naturally attracted to you and what you offer. Now understand this, when people understand your vision and your dreams and what you're doing, you start to attract people like a magnet who want to support you in turning that vision into fruition. All right, then I also share with you how to remove any limiting beliefs and fears that prevent you from accessing your 10 mindset. In fact, what I really show you is how to bypass them completely. I don't spend time saying, well, in order to move this fear or this belief, you have to rewire it and rethink it and take it out. I literally show you how to bypass it. Because fear-based thinking does not resonate at the same place as prosperity thinking. I literally show you how to bypass it, so you don't ever have to worry about that. I show you how to develop the most important business habits that guarantee you'll succeed. There's some very, very important things that you need to do as you're building your business. And again, it's your way of being. It's the way you approach building your business. It's the way you approach organizing your time. It's the way you approach leveraging everything you do. When you want to earn more money in multiples, not double, but triple or quadruple. When you want to go into a path of acceleration, you have to understand how to organize and adopt the kinds of habits that successful people do. It turns hard work into easier action. It turns hard work into easier action. Then I show you how to create a community of golden referral sources, joint venture partners, and leading experts and rainmakers who bring opportunities to your doorstep. Now, I want to take a little side comment here and share with you that when I started my business, as I shared, I was only a few months into my business. I moved to a city where I didn't know anybody. I wasn't on the internet because pretty much nobody was on the internet in 1994. I was the shyest person on the planet. You might not believe this, but I was extremely introverted. I had a database of about 100 people nationwide, not worldwide, nationwide, and most of those were my family and relatives and friends. Most of the people I liked, some of them I didn't, they were on my database. And I had a few acquaintances from my previous professional career. That was it. That's all I had. And so I didn't actually have a whole lot of things going for me. And yet I landed $50,000 worth of consulting work in the first 3 weeks in my business without spending a dime. And so I show you exactly how to build a community if you're starting from scratch. Just like I did, the same principles work. I have one student who followed my advice. I gave him this specific advice that I teach in this 10 Mindset course in February of this year. Okay, we are only in April of this year, so February of this year. He followed my very simple advice. It's actually the same things I did in my own business 20 years ago. It's the same things that will work for you right now. And he took my advice and in 1 week landed 2 new clients. He spent $0 on marketing. And he is extremely shy. And he was very hesitant to apply it because it seemed like, but it was super easy and he did it. And now he is so excited that he told me he's sharing the strategy with everybody, which I thought was really interesting because he's like, it works. Of course it works. Try it. I promise you. And then I show you how to put together your own business success team filled with successful people who will support you in making your dreams come true. There are some friends you've never met yet that are waiting for you to build your dreams, but they don't know they're waiting for you yet until you meet them. And I promise you that there is a group of people from around the world that will support you in building your dreams and want to help you without you even having to make money. And I'll show you how to identify them, how to meet them, how to make the connection, and how to create that kind of team around you. It is not difficult. It's actually very easy. But there are certain things that people do in the marketplace, particularly professionals, that if you make these mistakes, it will not work. In fact, you could lose a relationship forever. But I give you some key things that when you do, they're very simple, but they're extremely important. And you will create the most amazing success team you've ever experienced in your life. I got one more thing for you, though, by the way. I did something new this year that I added as I taught this new program. I added a new bonus because what I realized is that even if you're having transformation, you're seeing results while you're going through the program over 30 days, it would be helpful if you knew how to literally be guided through applying it in a very systematic way so you could actually see how to fine-tune it in your life. So I created something called the 30-day action plan. So I created an action plan that's pretty simple where you set your own 30-day goal. And then I tell you what to do every single day for 30 days to help you achieve that goal by the end of the 30 days. I leave no questions unanswered. I tell you exactly what to do, and it will take you, I don't know, just not that long every day. And so where I'm showing you literally step by step how to apply very methodically every one of the 6 principles in your life over the 30 days so you achieve your goal by the end of the 30 days. So let me tell you, let's just break it down on what the whole program includes, all right? The 10 Mindset 30-day self-study program includes 8 audio recordings of the teleclass series, all right, the class that I just finished. And you get sent those 8 audio recordings over a 30-day period because what I find is that if I gave everybody the course all at once, they'll skip around. And if you skip around, it really doesn't work because the course builds on itself. So I want to manage it. And what I've found, I've taught this course over a 10-week period. I've taught this course over a 9-day period. I've taught this course over a weekend. And I found that the 30-day period seems to be the magic number. It's a number where people can really take in the information, do the exercises, start to see results working, and they become very, very evident. They notice how different they are at the end of the course and at the beginning of the course. So at the 30-day seemed to be sort of the magic number, right? I also included is that I created a video that kind of gives you an intro to each one of the classes. So it's a short video that says, here's what's going to happen, and here's what you're going to get, and here's some valuable tips. And I have a few email tips kind of thrown in there because I want to do everything I can to help you succeed. It's almost like I'm sitting there right beside you, really kind of coaching you through the process. And that's why I wanted to make it as great and easy, as simple to follow as possible for you. And I have a very comprehensive workbook with every single audio. So each class has a corresponding workbook that goes along with it. And in that workbook, it takes you through the information and through some exercises. And it's in the exercises that your insight is revealed. That by doing the exercise where the transformation happens. And then the last audio I send you, so it's class number 9, I send you the bonus 10 Mindset Action Plan. And I walk you through it in that class, and then you have the handout, which is literally takes you, it's got 30 pages to it, 1 page for every day. It tells you exactly what to do. But there's something else that I also included. I do a lot of guided visualizations that really bring you to a much higher level of vibration and resonance, and you would know that when it feels like you're feeling very peaceful, very calm, very collected, very centered, very grounded. So I recorded a guided journey that when you listen to it brings you to that place of calm and centeredness and has you focusing your awareness on the vibration of prosperity. So I also include that. Now, if you were to purchase this separately or take it through a whole weekend for me, it would be around $2,100 of everything. Now remember, it's organized in a very simple step-by-step way for you. You're not going to get hit with a whole bunch of emails, a whole bunch of videos, a whole bunch of audios. I parcel it out evenly over a 30-day period. But I don't charge $2,100 for you. The actual price of this program is $497. But I want to honor you for watching and really spending your time watching this program and mostly investing in yourself. I want to honor you for taking the action to actually listen and watch me and learn the principles and learn the formula and to really spark that place inside of you. It's going to stir that 10 mindset. Watching this program today is going to stir the 10 mindset inside of you, and it's going to say, please find me. And if you're ready to find it, if you're ready to learn how to access your 10 mindset inside, then I want to honor you by giving you a $100 gift. And by taking off $100 from the program price, so it's only a single payment of $397. But I know that there are some people that like to, kind of parcel out their cash flow. So I also have an opportunity for you if you want a 3-pay plan. And again, if you go to the website at outrageousbusinessgrowth.com/10success, you will see where you can register for the program. Now, let me tell you, when you register for this program, it starts immediately. It starts immediately. As soon as you register, you're going to get the first email. It says, welcome, and it's going to tell you exactly how to start consuming the information, and then it's going to be parceled out to you. And tomorrow, if you start today, then tomorrow you will get class number 1. Thank you for joining me today. It has been an honor. And truly an honor for me and a pleasure to talk with you and share with you how you can start living your life as a 10 mindset from that highest vibration of prosperity. It is my mission, it is my vision that everybody walks around this planet living and walking in their true soul path. So if you want to live your life with purpose, if you want to live your life completely fulfilled, if you want to live your life from that space of abundance, if you want to be in a space of prosperity every single day, if you want to know how to access the 10 mindset that is already inside of you, waiting for you to clear away the blocks that are holding you back, and jump right into that space, then I'm here for you. I'm here for you, and all you have to do is take action, because as soon as you register, the program starts immediately. Thank you so much for joining me. It's an honor and a privilege, and I look forward to speaking with you again very soon. Goodbye, everybody.